Welcome back, everybody. Coming to you virtually live from Redding, California, there at the Gallon Oil facility. We're about to pick up a load of ethane to haul down to Oxnard today. Oxnard, California. We're staying in the state of California. Looks like our trailer's right. Now, I've done a couple of things to the truck since the last time we did a broadcast. You can see here on the front I added this really cool looking front bumper. It's chromed. It's got a row of lights down there on the bottom. I'm going to turn the lights on for you. Look how awesome that looks. Granted, the chrome in this game, I don't think the chrome effect looks that great. But man, that's a cool looking bumper. There it is with the headlights. Just a nice looking truck. Also put the 300-gallon fuel chassis, 300 gallons of diesel fuel we can carry now, up from 220. But the most important upgrade is one that I've been talking about for a while as I take us around to pick up our trailer here, is the, I finally upgraded to the 500 horsepower engine, which I'm really interested to see how big of a difference that makes, because I found the truck, as the loads have gotten bigger, to be rather underpowered. Now, this engine doesn't have any more torque than the previous motor. It's got the same amount of torque. It's like 1,200 foot-pounds, I think. But no, that can't possibly be right. 1,200 RPMs is what I was thinking of. It's got the same amount of torque, I know that. So I don't know how big of a difference putting this motor in is, but it cost me like $25,000, so hopefully it makes a pretty big difference. I don't want to scratch the truck up as I just repaired it here. Backing up, we're backing up. I'm not entirely sure. I don't like, I'm in here all crooked here. I just don't like that. Just don't like it. It's an accident waiting to happen. So I think if we do a pretty good job with this delivery, we should level up to level 16. I don't think that opens up any new trucks, but it will open up some new upgrades. But the most important thing is I think we can upgrade to the next level of hazardous material, which I'm not sure. I think I'm at level 3 right now. It's so hard to back this thing up now without that mirror. I'm going to go ahead and turn that mirror on with the 2, or not, that's the wrong key. The F2 key is what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm in here crooked. Go ahead and kind of get this situated here so we get this hooked up correctly. Get you backed in here. Use the rear view mirrors to get lined up. Just not good enough at hooking up yet to do it without that. There we go. T key is on. Go ahead and turn that off with the F2 key, cycle through the mirrors, and then we are set to go. Full of fuel. Looks like we're going to need a rest here at some point soon. Swing her nice and wide so we don't scratch the trailer up. And off we go. Redding is in the northern part of California. We need to head down to the southern part. Looks like it's going to take us about 14 hours. A relatively short trip, only 543 miles. About half of the last couple of trips I've gone, which have been pushing 1,000 miles in distance. So of course the experience and the pay on this is going to be a little bit more limited. Creeping forward a little bit there. I got to start utilizing the parking brake a little bit more. Some trailer in the background there. And we are off and rolling. Installment. Now, I have paid off my 2 smaller loans, the $50,000 loan and the $100,000 loan. So all I'm paying off right now is the $400,000 loan I took out to expand my, hang a left up here, to expand my garage. Not going to make this light, of course. Whoa, we're down. Jake, brake it. Parking brake on with space bar. Yeah, so I've got that down. That was up to pushing $10,000 in loan payments, and that's every day, of course. So I've shaved that down to just under $6,000 it's kind of nice to have that stuff paid off. Just like paying a loan off in real life, it feels really, really good to not see that that money coming out of your account every single day. Parking brake off. Got our light. Swing it left here and get out of town. Looks like we're going to have to kind of weave our way through Reading, downtown Reading even, to maneuver our way out of here. I'm awfully tempted to pull into that rest stop there, but you know what? I'm going to push it just a little bit. One thing that I didn't realize, and if you're jumping into American Truck Simulator, learn from my mistake here, because by default, the rain, like the weather, like whether it rains or not, the rain effect is turned almost all the way down to 0 probability. So I was wondering why it wasn't raining. It was never raining. One time in the 28 hours I've played the game to this point, I could see rain off in the distance. What had happened was it was turned down to where it never rained, which, why would you ever want to do that? So finally I got to see it rain last night, which is pretty damn cool. Been waiting for that for quite a while. I didn't realize that there was like a slider effect on there. I never even thought to check that. And here we go. It's kind of funny because it was raining last night, and one of the default vehicles in the car is a convertible. It's the guy always has the top down on it too. So yeah, he was driving around in the rain. That was pretty funny. Didn't seem to bother him at all. He just kept going. He just kept going. I don't know how realistically these towns are modeled after their real-world comparisons, but Reading looks kind of like a little backwater kind of burg, just by how it's rendered in this game. Pretty small town. Looks like we're going to get on the interstate here, and we can finally get up to speed a little bit. Yeah, my knee-jerk reaction with the bigger motor is I don't notice any difference at all. He's already getting tired. Yeah, I should have definitely stopped. Oh well, there will be plenty of rest stops up ahead. Jump the corner there a little bit. Yeah, something like right here is where you should see a little bit more of a difference in horsepower. I didn't notice anything there. Is this guy gonna let me in? Stop, stop, you jackass. Didn't make contact, I don't think, did we? No damage. No damage. I love seeing zeros across the board on damage. Alright, oh, are we already getting off this? Oh, why is that upside? There we go. Yeah, good. Alright, looks like we're going to stay on this road for quite a while, so we can go ahead and minimize that. I don't need to see that. Cruise set. It looks like I must have bumped the I key or something because I don't have my dash button set to what I usually like it to be, which is speed. So I don't have to have that 56. There we go. I know you're tired. We'll find you a place to rest. A lot of professional YouTubers that are playing the game turn the rest thing off. I just think it adds so much to the game, though. You know, it adds so much strategy. So I'm going to leave it on. I like balancing the fuel and the rest thing. I've also turned realistic air brakes on now, which I only played one round with that feature turned on. It's off by default, of course. The only difference I can tell is that occasionally you'll be forced to stop and allow the truck to reinflate the air, or else you can't move the truck. The way a truck's air brakes work, truck brakes are not like vehicle brakes like you have on your car or your SUV or whatever you drive on the street. They use air to apply the brakes, and if there's not enough air there, you can't do anything. You can't work the brakes. So you have to stop and let the truck kind of run long enough to pump up the air, get enough air in the system to let the compressor get enough air in the system to allow you to use all the features. Quite a few features on a truck operate off of air. We're in the red, okay. Okay, we definitely, yeah, I should have stopped. Oh, look at that. See how that blacks out on the edges of the screen? It's very reminiscent of like Combat Flight Simulator, where if you have the effect, like the G effect turned on in that game, you will, and you try and turn too sharp or try and do too steep of a dive, you will see the edges of the screen kind of compress in like that. I think that's a really cool way of displaying like fatigue in this game. It's annoying that you gotta stop, but you know, when you're playing a game that basically boils down to driving from point A to point B to deliver goods, and that's all the game is, I think it's important to leave those effects turned on to add a little bit of variety to the game. I mean, you have to strategize when to stop and rest. I like that. I would never turn that off. Now, I get, like, if you only have X amount of time to play the game, you don't want to waste it resting. And granted, it only takes, like, a minute to go through the whole rest process. But what is very time-consuming is finding a rest stop, stopping, parking, and all that stuff. I mean, when you have to rest, it takes a good 5 minutes to complete the action. But, I mean, is 5 minutes really that long of a time? Okay, this lane's running out. That guy better back off. Thank you. It's an airplane fly overhead. A lot of air traffic in this game. We desperately need a rest stop. Hopefully there's one coming up here. This is just a way station. Man, why are these guys going so slow here? What's the deal here? Come on, get going, dude. Today is Wednesday, and I've got to tell you guys, I am super excited because tonight is the opening night of the Stanley Cup playoffs, which by far is the, at least in my opinion, the best sports tournament in the world. I mean, some people love March Madness. I love the Stanley Cup playoffs. I love the drama. I love how much of a grind it is. I love the intensity of the playoff hockey. It's just unlike any other. Get that thing off the screen so I can see the gauge or see the map, dude. Looks like this. Yeah, we can pull in here. This is a perfect place to stop, get some rest. Great timing. Yeah, I'm very, very excited, guys. I love NHL playoff hockey. And let's get maneuvered around here to the rest stop. We'll take a nap and we will be back on the road. I like these little rest stops that are right along the interstate here. That's like, boo, okay. Stupid, look like Clark Griswold there and his family truckster about ran into me. Alright, how about this slot right here? I can get backed up without running into anybody when it's time to go. Alright, I gotta back into the spot. There we go, parking brake applied, turn the engine off, let's take a nap. Should take us to the middle of the night. Engine on, fire up the lights. Go ahead and get this thing backed up. Hopefully there's nobody behind me. I'm not that good at backing up with these trucks yet. Don't want to hit anything because, oh, there we see some rain effect on the windshield. Just a little bit. Looks like it's lightly raining. Didn't fire up the wipers with the, oh shit, that guy has to be right there, of course. Thought I could shortcut that. Not gonna happen. God, I hope there's nobody behind me. I do not want to damage the load. Let's see over here. Can I kind of turn that way? Yeah, let's just do that. That's the easiest way to go about it. That way. Never fun to back up, especially in one of these great big trucks. Looks like we've got some space here. We can kind of swing out wide. Little convenience store. Did I turn the wipers on? There we go. Wipers are turned on with the P key, of course. 2 speeds on it. No intermittent wipers on this truck, I guess. Really need them. And off we go. Alright, lights on, wipers on. get up to speed, we'll set the cruise, and we will roll for Oxnard. Let us in here? I don't think that... I didn't even see that guy. Jesus. Scary. So yeah, going back to the NHL playoffs, I'm so excited. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Pittsburgh Penguins fan. Very excited about their chances against the New York Rangers in the first round. Rangers are kind of banged up. There's a lot of question marks about the health of Penguins goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury going in. He's been out for, oh God, it seems like at least 2 weeks with a head injury, probable concussion. So their hopes certainly hinge on him. I don't hate the backup goalie Jeff Zatkoff as much as some people do, but clearly you want to go with your number one guy. So that's definitely the series that I will be paying the closest attention to. I kind of think the Pens win at that in 6. I don't think it goes less than that. I think people are maybe underestimating the Rangers' chances just a little bit. Granted, they're banged up too. I think their captain Dan Girardi is out. So they've got some injuries as well. Every team battles with injuries. That's just the nature of sports, of hockey in particular. So I'm going Pens in 6 on that one. Pens will open that tonight. I think it's at like 7 o'clock here in Dallas. And speaking of Dallas, we'll switch over to the Western Conference for that. That matchup is probably the most interesting storyline of the first round for me personally, because I spent the first 37 years of my life in Minnesota. So I got to see, I grew up with the Minnesota North Stars, even though they weren't that popular being out in the western part of Minnesota, which is farm-based hockey, just wasn't that big of a thing. Of course, we cheered for the North Stars when they were on TV, which wasn't very often. But and of course, everybody knows the North Stars were moved down to Dallas in, probably 94 or 95, I would guess, by the vilified Norm Green, justifiably so. Moved them down to Dallas, and that is what is known today as the Dallas Stars. Won a Stanley Cup in 99, I want to say, down here, which just kind of twists the knife a little bit more for diehard Minnesota fans. They got to steal the name, got to keep the name. North Star name was very storied in Minnesota hockey history. Dallas got to steal that, and then they won a cup. So I'm sorry, guys, that sucks. I really have no stake in that at all. A lot of people ask me, are you cheering for the Stars, or are you sticking with the Wild? I've never been a big Wild fan. I just want to enjoy a good series. I think Dallas kicks 6 different kinds of dog crap out of the Wild. The Wild don't have Zach Parise available. I think Eric Howla, I think it was announced this morning, is out. He's done a decent job of contributing this year, so that's a big loss. I'm pretty sure they don't have Thomas Vanek 100%. If he's playing, he's not at his full strength. The Stars are really, really good, guys. I think they get Tyler Seguin back. I think that game is tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. They don't open until the second night of the playoffs. So I'm going Stars in 5 on that one. And I'm sorry, Minnesota fans. I got a lot of friends, a lot of Wild fans still back in the state of hockey. You ain't winning that round. Stars are just too run and gun. The Wild just can't match that without Parise and Vanek and Howla. Kind of staying in the Western Conference. A lot of good matchups here, and another one over in the West is the Predators and the Ducks. Now, both these teams have notoriously poor records in the playoffs. Yes, I know the Ducks have won a Stanley Cup, but what I'm talking about is the Ducks under head coach Bruce Boudreau, who's notorious for choking in the playoffs. Now, obviously, the coach is not out there playing, but it's happened enough times now with his time with the Caps. It happened to him last year with the Ducks. Pretty sure it happened the year before with the Ducks. For whatever reason, he just can't coach. He just gets out-coached, and his teams just don't win in the playoffs. But the problem is on the other side of the aisle, the Predators don't exactly have a great track record in the playoffs either. How many years in a row now have we heard about how great this Nashville team is? For years and years, they were built defensively first with Shea Weber. Back there, Ryan Suter, when he was with the Predators, it was they just stifle teams, and it's going to work so well in the playoffs, and it never does. So that's kind of a matchup of teams that have bad track records, teams that are known for choking in the playoffs. And this year, I think the Preds are going to choke just a little bit less. I think the Preds win that one in 7. But the Ducks have been red hot late, just like the Penguins. The Ducks got off to a very mediocre start. Man, it's really starting to rain right now. I'm going to speed the wipers up a little bit to the highest setting. Love the rain effect in this game. I got to get the cruise control set again here. I don't know why I turned that off. Yeah, just like the Pens, like I was saying, the Ducks got off to a terrible start. There was talks that Boudreau was going to lose his job. And given the bad start the Penguins on, a lot of Penguins fans were saying, hey, we'll take him. We'll hire Bruce Boudreau. He'd be great. With this team, this offense-first, run-and-gun Penguins team. Jesus, our exit is here already. This is a short trip. Jake, break her down. I don't know why anybody would turn the rain effects off. It adds so much variety to the game. Alright, come up to the stop. I don't notice any difference in the horsepower. That was like $25,000 that was just completely wasted. Hopefully we get that back on the resale, but that was a dumb move. I really hope that 500 horsepower engine, or is it 550? I can't remember. I think it might be 550. It was a 50 horsepower increase, whatever it was, isn't the highest performing motor in this game. I hope they're going to add some stuff because, man, I want something that's got just gobs of power. We still got a ways to go, 175 miles. We can go ahead and turn the wipers off. Looks like the rain has stopped as we're rolling up on. Now it's still drizzling just a little bit. Pretty cool that it's not 100% on or 100% off. That they do adjust the amount of rain that is coming down. That's pretty cool. Windmills off to the left. Quite a bit of that here in California. Hang a left up here. Guy, like I said, that guy was driving around the convertible. It's nuts, dude. What are you doing? Another guy. Alright, clear. Let's go ahead and swing her around. Don't hit me, dude. Actually, I would be the one hitting you there, so. Another game happening out west is the LA Kings, which, you know, I guess you could say that, yeah, they've had plenty of playoff success in the last 4 or 5 years. Probably second only to the Chicago Blackhawks in terms of success. Certainly in the number of cups that they've won recently. They take on the San Jose Sharks, another team that just, for whatever reason, can't get it done. They've in the playoffs. They'd have multiple coaching changes. They've flipped their roster over a couple of times. When it comes to the postseason in the spring, they just can't get it done. And time is kind of running out for guys like Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, to win a Stanley Cup. So I just don't see them getting by LA. I'm kind of going with Kings in 6 on that one. Which takes us to the last matchup in the West, which is the defending Stanley Cup champions, Chicago Blackhawks, taking on the, yet another underachiever. Man, there's a lot of underachieving teams in the Western Conference. The St. Louis Blues, who, man, their window is kind of slammed shut. They've had some really, really talented teams. For whatever reason, they can't get out of the first round. Ken Hitchcock is kind of known for just bowing out in the first round. Now, he is another guy that won a Stanley Cup. With the aforementioned Dallas Stars, he won a Stanley Cup. So, is this going to be the year that they shake it up and get out of the first round? I don't think so. Especially against Chicago. I don't see Chicago repeating this year. At some point, the bubble has to burst on the Chicago Blackhawks. They can't keep finding all this success. But my God, that roster on paper is just unbelievable. Adding Andrew Ladd, getting the rookie Panarin to chip in what he did this year. I mean, how do you bet against them? I just think they roll right by St. Louis in 6 games is what I'm saying. And I think I'm being fairly generous to the Blues. Look at that weather effect, man. That's just so pretty. Just absolutely gorgeous. Hanging left up here. I'm kind of familiar. I remember this area now. I don't know if the weather... Ooh, am I going to get a red light? I got lucky there. Cop sitting right there. Not that that matters, though. So yeah, moving back to the East, the #1 matchup at the top of the bracket is Caps versus Flyers. You know, the Capitals, these are two teams that went on completely different paths to get to the playoffs. As the Caps got off to just an unbelievable start, just built up a massive lead in the Metropolitan Division to start the season, were just unbeatable last fall. While the Flyers were terrible. The Flyers were looking like a top pick team through the first couple of months. Completely flip-flopped. The Caps have just absolutely been coasting into the playoffs, just getting their ass handed to them left and right. Where the Flyers kind of got a lot of scrappy wins, were able to string together several victories in a row to kind of put themselves back in the playoff push, eventually using a win over the Pittsburgh Penguins, my favorite team, like I said a couple of minutes ago, a victory last weekend to put themselves into the postseason. So that's the one, what would have been the 1-8 matchup in the past, but of course they don't use that traditional seeding anymore. Another interesting matchup is Florida Panthers taking on the Islanders. Florida, a very young, kind of plucky, energetic team, with the exception of the 87-year-old Jaromir Jagr. My favorite hockey player of all time is Jagr, so I'm very excited to see him push this team, kind of put this team on his back, surrounded by all these young guys. You know, he's kind of like this grizzled veteran that's leading these young guys into the postseason. That's just such a cool story. Taking on another young team, the New York Islanders. So it's going to be interesting to see if Jagr's experience, the goaltending of Roberto Luongo, another very experienced player that hasn't had the greatest track record in the postseason. Epic choke job in Vancouver in the Stanley Cup Finals a couple of years ago. We'll see if those two can kind of get those young guys. My guess is that that series is going to go 7. I picked Florida in this, not because I think that they're that great of a team, but I just think the Islanders are banged up. They're missing their #1 goalie. I think they're missing a couple of other guys. It's just tough to overcome injuries. And Florida has home ice advantage. That takes us to the only game we haven't touched on yet, and that is the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm not sure who has home ice. I want to say Tampa Bay has home ice in this. I think the Red Wings are going to win this series in 5 games. A couple of weeks ago, Tampa Bay lost their best player, and one of the best players in the National Hockey League, Steven Stamkos, to, I think it was blood clots in his lung, something really, really serious. Maybe it was his leg, too. Either way, blood clots are a very serious injury. So he's going to be out for the remainder of the playoffs. I think they're missing a couple other guys, too. I just think Detroit is going to kick their ass. We'll see. I think this is like 25 straight years that the Detroit Red Wings have made the NHL postseason, which is, you think about that, that's a quarter of a century without missing the postseason. And think of all the additional revenue and exposure you get your team by making the postseason and getting those guaranteed 4 more games, 2 home games for sure. Think of the extra money you make. I mean, ownership absolutely has to love that streak. 25 years, man. That's unbelievable. I love that Jake break. Well, the upgrades weren't a complete loss because I do like the fact that I've got the bigger fuel tank now. I've got another 80 gallons of fuel on board the truck, so you know, it's just gets you can just go a little bit farther, which is always nice. This guy's taking his sweet ass time here. That's pretty cool looking plant there on the right. The topography of this game reminds me so much of one of my favorite games of the PlayStation 3 era, Red Dead Redemption, which I've gone on and on about on podcasts and stuff, and on the website GameBlock.com. I love Red Dead Redemption. Supposedly there's a sequel coming. I'm very excited for that. If you haven't played Red Dead, hopefully they do like a HD re-release right before the sequel comes out, Red Dead 2 or whatever they're going to call it. Probably not going to call it that. The previous game, see, Red Dead Redemption was a sequel of a game called Red Dead Revolver. I think that's what it was called. That doesn't sound right now that I say it, though. But anyway, it was a sequel to something that it was a similar name. But of course, it wasn't really a true sequel because it was new characters. There was really nothing carried over. I can see on the left side of the map there that we're getting close here. A little bit of stutter in frame rate there. Maybe that's why a lot of guys turn the rain off, is the frame rate is affected negatively by it. I don't know how to display frame rate in this game, but I haven't seen any problems with American Truck at all, and I'm running on reasonably high settings. I mean, I've got the graphics turned up pretty high. Not to the maximum on everything, but good enough for... Now, I don't like taking that road, so I'm going to take the long way, because that road sucks trying to get up there. I don't know why the GPS always takes me there. There's the coastline. Beautiful coastline. God, now I want to play Red Dead Redemption again. Don't hit me, don't hit me. We're so close to the end, don't hit me. Yeah, I'm pumped. It's not just that playoff hockey is returning, but it's also that I get to watch, because I didn't buy the NHL Center Ice package, which gives you access. If you're an out-of-market fan like myself, being in Dallas and Minnesota, being a fan of a Pennsylvania hockey team, the local broadcast doesn't carry the games for me. So I never get to see them unless it's a nationally televised game. Didn't buy the hockey package this year, like I said. So this will be the first time I can watch with all my friends on Twitter and Facebook and be able to contribute to the discussions that they have regarding hockey. Here's our exit. Gonna hang left. I signaled left when I was going right there, sorry. Still got my lights on too. Clear, clear. Go ahead and turn the lights off, I think, at this point. Still raining. I don't know what the rules are in California regarding that, but I don't think they're going to give us a ticket for that. We'll find out soon, because there's a cop. Hop in there at the top of that tree up there. Graphically, the game isn't without its hiccups, but who cares, man? There is no such thing as a perfect game out here. Metal Gear Solid 5 had tons of pop-in as you were roaming around the Afghanistan and African wilderness. I mean, there was pop-in happening all the time on that game. So don't let anyone tell you that console games, the highest quality AAA console titles, are not without their graphical hiccups, because it's simply not true. Climbing, man, I'm running just a little bit on the shoulder there, and that's really making the force feedback on the G27 shake, rattle, and roll. Here we are. This looks like Gallon Oil's Oxnard plant. looks like... Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, I guess. Alright, here we go. We don't want to F it up here at the end. Did I hit? I felt like I hit something. Ah, shit! 1% damage. I hit right in the goddamn driveway. That pisses me off. Ah, we're going to take a penalty for that. Let's see if we can get this thing parked. Yeah, it looks pretty easy. I drove all that distance and smacked the concrete heading into the driveway. That was so stupid. What the hell's wrong with me? What a screw up. I'm so mad that I did that. I'm just like fuming right now. It's gonna cost us probably $1,000, that little mistake there, but let's see if we can get a better view maybe. Oh, man, I'm in there like all crooked too. Let's see if we can just kind of back it up. This isn't very realistic to park it like this, but get her positioned. Oh man, it's hard to park these things. I don't know how anybody can do this in real life without like a overhead sky view like this. Oh, no, gotta go forward there. Alright, let's see if we can get her in here this time. See it in the mirror there. There we go. Alright, see how bad the damage is. Good work. No, excellent for that. How much damage did we do? Yeah, $1,200 that cost me. 1.7%. Alright, we're up to level 16. So let's go ahead while I got you guys on the air. Let's go ahead and take a look at what our next upgrade should be. You can see I've gone 3 on fuel economy, long distance, and the hazardous cargo. I wonder what level 4 of hazardous cargo is. Let's take a look at that quick. Class 4. We're class 4 flammable solids. I don't know what the hell that would be. Aluminum, white phosphorus? Isn't that the shit they put in firecrackers and stuff? That sounds pretty badass. I wonder how much more money that makes me though. But then again, I could go long distance here. Like, how much longer can I travel if I go rank 4? 1,600 miles? That's awfully tempting, guys. Man, there's such small increases with this stuff. Fragile cargo. This stuff's kind of stupid, I think. Urgent deliveries. I mean, yeah. I really like the long distance stuff, to be honest. I'm going to add another one to long distance. We're going to go 4 on that. It takes us up to 1,600 miles. I like the sound of that a lot. Apply. That's the situation. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of new upgrades did we get here. 600. Yeah, isn't that about the way it would go? As soon as I buy the goddamn 550 horsepower motor, the 600 one gets unlocked. Son of a bitch, that pisses me off. I kind of want that exhaust thing too. You know what? How far away is the dealer? How much money do I have? $29,000? Let's go ahead and see how far away the dealer is. I might just take a tow if it's close and it's not that big of a penalty. 641 bucks. Yeah, tow me. I just want to see how much it's going to cost to upgrade that engine. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. How much that costs. Man, I want that 600 horsepower motor. No, I don't want to repair. That's the wrong button I hit. Especially if we're going to replace the motor. We definitely don't want to do that. Take a look at that motor. $29,000 in refunds. So that's gonna cost. Oh, it's gonna take all my money if I do that. Oh man, I want that so bad though. That's another 100 horsepower right there. Yeah, last time I made a jump from 455 to 500 to the Cummins. Yeah, it looks like it's the same motor. It's this Cummins ISX15, but they must just tune it up a little bit. Look at that torque increase, guys. 2,000. That's an increase of 400 foot-pounds of torque right there. I'm getting excited, guys. God, I wish I would have known about that. Where's that exhaust thing up? I thought it said you could upgrade the exhaust too. Can't do anything with that. Ooh, there's another motor increase coming at level 18 though. Probably be better just to wait. I could have swore there was some exhaust. Maybe that was for the other truck. It's over here. Yeah, I'm gonna spend money on a license plate. That's really exciting. All right, I'm gonna shut down, guys. That's where I'm at. So we'll come back. We're gonna our new goal is to work our way up to that 600 horsepower Cummins engine. I think we can get there without any trouble. But that's where we're at. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We will be back with another episode very, very soon. Thanks for checking out this episode of American Truck Simulator. See you later.